Dinky, I see you down there. I see you. Come on, Jack. Come on. Come on. Jack, come on. Hello, little bits. How are you? Oh my goodness. Come on. Come on. How was everybody's day today? Happy Thursday. It's Throwback Thursday. Did anyone do anything fun and exciting today? Hi, Ken. Hi, Rain. Hello, everybody. Rain, what you up to, my friend? Anything exciting? I just filmed the podcast. I have to edit it and then upload it, so it'll be live at noon tomorrow. What did I talk about? Mediumship experiences and what it's looked like throughout life, and then some galactic stuff. That's what's in it. Bum, 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 bum. I feel like we should have some kind of dance music. It is. I feel like we gotta do some kind of vibey stuff. The other thing too, get it, girl? I love that. I love it. You're gonna do amazing, Rain. You just gotta keep believing in yourself. What I will tell you is there has been some weird communication energy going around lately. Before I go to bed, I am gonna upload an energy working for our throat space. So if you're someone who's over on the Patreon, I'm so glad. Feel free, Rain. Mediumship 101 is on there too. And so is the guided meditation to build your treehouse, if that's something you would like to do. So feel free to go check them out, because they're available till the 24th. I'm glad they were super helpful. I think we might, I know someone asked for another, live Ether 101. Maybe we'll do one, oh my goodness, in the next couple months. And I think maybe tomorrow or Saturday we'll do some mediumship. It's been a big thing lately. It's been coming, it seems funny. It's like this time of year it seems to come up for some reason. Figure out what, little bits? Oh goodness, you two, be nice to each other. So it is Throwback Thursday. We do have spots open for past life readings if people want them. Otherwise, I'm more than happy to talk about things. I have no problem also answering people's questions, and also fear has been a huge thing I've been seeing lately too. So I would be super happy to talk to people about that if that's something that they're curious about. Oh, it's the link for it is right up in the bio. If you just click on my face, it'll give you the beacon link. And then I gotta be honest, the more I keep seeing the comments on on my TikTok, there's so many things I have to say. It's given me so many video ideas, so go them for that. But I just feel bad there are so many people who are genuinely scared of some experiences because the right foundation wasn't built. And I can't stress this enough. If you haven't dealt with the fear in the physical, it'll find you up there. It's the same thing I have to say when people tell me that they're fighting in the astral all the time and this and that. It's someone who's consistently at war with themselves. And if you find yourself consistently, there's something to look at in there. And I think that's one of the things where people really struggle. And then there's also some times where that patriarchy stuff comes out, the stuff that we're programmed to just accept. Oh my goodness, now I'm gonna have energy burps. Oh, what did everybody have for dinner? Dinky and I just had a snack. We just had a snack because I have been really slacking on that and the water department today. Hey, Rain, I meant to ask you, what do you use to draw? Allie, thanks for the follow. So don't forget, I'm going to do a new, that's what I thought. Okay. I have not messed with it yet. I've seen lots of things about it. Tomorrow is the new podcast episode. It's something I'm editing now. It'll be uploaded for noon tomorrow. It's all about mediumship, channeling, stuff like that. And then the new class to walk energy cords is on Sunday, and it's live in the Discord. If you are someone who has questions about that, feel free to let me know. And then don't forget, Ember over on the Patreon's on a 7-day free trial too. So I'm trying to charge something at the same time, and it's like sitting in a weird spot. So I also want to invite the fact that it is Throwback Thursday, so we usually do past life readings all day. So if you are someone who has questions about that, I'd be more than happy to talk to you about it. But if you have questions about like connecting for yourself to your lost loved ones, to your guides, how to get started on that, certain things, I would be more than happy to sift through it. I love that. Yeah, I gotta be honest, there are some things where you really reach that flow state and it really helps bring some stuff through. And I've seen people do some super amazing things with art, and I think it's super fun. Get it, Rain. It looks awesome. One of the things I used to do too is I'm one of those people that like I need to keep this side of my head distracted to go up to that side, if that makes sense. I've loved that. Girl, I appreciate you. You're putting in all the work, my friend. You're putting in all the work. It's when the moment where you finally start to believe in yourself and you start to trust that inner information and trust that inner knowing, it'll start to come out. And you'll start to get so much information. And, you know, the thing that I like have brought up multiple times today is it's one thing, I think people think that like if we get all this information, we'll be able to fix all these problems. And half the time, like life is just a game of chess and knowing like what information matters in the moment. And there are some times that dead people have told me things that I wish that I could use, but I can't, because how do you explain that? How do you explain that? Especially to people that don't want to hear it, you know? So I think you're going to do amazing, Rain, the more you keep at it. And that's what I'm going to say for anybody who's practicing their mediumship. It's worth it. What's everybody up to today? It's been a quiet Thursday. Hello, Rebecca. Rain, thanks for the star. YouTheBomb.com. I appreciate you. Rebecca, did you get Rosie? And did you decide on what was for dinner? I'm going to try to read some more today. I started a new book, but I haven't decided if I'm going to keep reading it. I did try to restart Codename Verity, but the style it's written, I can't do it. Oh no! Bummer, dude. I wonder if it's because it's got like space and separation in it. Bummer! It looked really pretty though. It looks super pretty. Can confirm. Hey, Rain. Do you want a vibe check? Okay. Have you ever... I think you have seen me do these. Okay, can I come over and visit? Oh, I'm sorry. Music. I'm gonna sing. I almost did right there. Okay, let me see. So, couple things. The very first thing that I noticed is your throat, but it makes sense because if you're working through those fear and blocks around sharing and speaking, you know, and putting yourself out there, it's stuff that you're working through, right? Other thing, do you, Rain, do you see your guides at all? Hello, Mike. How's your snow cookies? Okay, so what I'm going to tell you is that I had, like, when I first, girl, take your time. When I first, like, zoomed in here, so one of the first things I noticed is the cloak he has on is very reminiscent to one that I've seen before, and the only time I've seen it is with Archangel Gabriel. So, however that feels to you, do with that information what you wish. But the other thing is, there is some, do you sometimes get like a weird sensation under your ear on your left side, like kind of like where this bone is? Like, do you notice or like get pressure there at all? Oh, are you mad at me that I called you Mikey Crocker? I was being nice. Okay. So they have pointed me to it twice now. Like, they've specifically brought me here twice. I don't get like a panic, but like something to pay attention to. Like, just, they've brought me to it multiple times. It's like right up in here. And it's just something to pay attention to. I think so, honestly. There's like, don't worry. Cause it doesn't feel like, yeah, it's right here. This is my left side. Yep. This is my left side. It's right. It's like, I don't know how else to show you. It's like right up in here that they've brought me to. There's like, it's like where the base of your skull kind of comes down into your neck, right behind your ear. Cause it doesn't feel like, yeah, can I ask you something? Do you struggle with control? Do you know what I mean by that? Hello, Lexi. Hi, Monica. So, okay, I'm going to tell you like quick what I can see, and then I'm going to ask specific questions of him. So, there's something here, right? Tucked in our left shoulder. Usually when I see something here, it's something from, our childhood that is holding us back. It's something we keep looking at. We keep going back to it. It's some kind of block around receiving. And usually it's some kind of like worthiness thing that blocks up on the left shoulder. The other thing is like they brought me to left hip, which it feels like there's some kind of bind, but it goes like hip to knee, right? So I don't know if sometimes you have some weird left-sided hip knee pain, but there's something to be about flexibility and rigidity in that. So I don't know if it's rigidity in certain beliefs or limiting beliefs that you may hold. But sometimes we put ourselves in some boxes that we think we have to stay in, and it's actually a box that we've created that's holding us back. Does that make sense? One second, I want to ask a question. Can I ask you something? Is there something about your mouth that has come up recently? Is there something like that? Like, is there a fear of something in your mouth? Like, do you know what I mean by this? I don't know how else to articulate what I'm trying to say. Is there something that is like a fear around your mouth? Okay. Can I ask you another question, Rain? Are there some times where you're sitting, and do you ever notice that your body wants to like spin off like a top? Okay, so a couple things that I want to touch on with that. The sway is a grounding thing. So, if you are, so say you're doing a reading or you're doing energy work, and all of a sudden you get like knocked off kilter, bring the sway back, because you don't want to super bad, because it'll, I don't, the easiest way to articulate this is it'll kind of make the energy weirder to work with. So if you notice when you start to get that sway in, hello Heather, grow your roots like real quick, Rain. Just like when you're doing something and you start to feel that sway, because the sway is coming from here. Do you ever notice that sometimes out of the blue, you're like, you just get this like beating like in your heart space for no reason, followed with the sway? Okay, so the easiest way I can articulate what's coming through to me is this. Whatever the fear is that lives here connects into here. So when I asked further questions, this opened up like kind of like there's a leak is like the best way I could say. Like it was just like really pumping, and then it started the sway in your energy, right? And I caught it. And so I think there is something, if you wanted to sit with your guides, I would like to tell you a couple things. One, fear will be one of the biggest things that holds us back, because truthfully it's our own limiting beliefs, and I'm not dismissing them at all. Please don't ever take it that way. If you sit with them, they will be more than happy to work through some of these things with you and show you why they're there. Does that make sense? Because especially whatever is going on here has a link to here, and it goes back further than this timeline. And then the other thing I want to tell you is whatever the fear is around here, don't. Because I think a lot of the fear is what's causing some blockages and holding you back. And ask them to help you release them, Rain. And it's not going to be something that happens overnight, so please don't think that. But sit with them and ask them to help you see where that energetic file is stored. And then ask them to help you move through whatever it is that needs to. Because whatever is going on here is connected here. Does that make sense? Get it. Get it. What? Okay. Can I? So, with that one, if there's anything I can say, and I try to tread very lightly because I am a firm believer. I'll go do your beliefs, go to your doctor, take your medicine, whatever is meant for you, please do that. I will never ever tell you what to do. I don't give medical advice. I ain't a medical professional. But what I will tell you is, in my purview, a lot of the things that I had going on in my body that were autoimmune stuff, or things that supposedly needed medications, or these other things, and being able to start working with my energy, I was able to learn a lot of things. And some of those things are about energetic parasites and how they present themselves. if there is anything I could say to help you with some of that fear, it would be that in the belief system and the things I've seen, right, in being more cognizant and aware of our biofields and our auric field, we have better control over our energetic and foundation and what comes and goes and what affects us. Does that make sense? I will always be a firm believer of disease and dis-ease. So ask them, Rain, truthfully, because there are really some days where if I have like this something like a real big fear, and it's gotten so much better, but there are some times where some still come out of nowhere, and I literally just give it to them. Like just give it to them and they will take it. There are some days where, like yesterday, I got this really mean message from this really mean big bird lady. And, I literally immediately, like, I felt the rage bubble up in my gut and I was like, hold on. And I like grounded and all the things. And I like literally went to God and I was like, please take this because I cannot do this today. I was like, please just take it. And in being able to give these things to your guides, you'll feel it leave. You'll also feel them help you work through some of that stuff. So please feel free to ask them, Rain, because they would love to support you. And also, if I felt the need to tell you that you can ask them anything, like no question is a dumb question. Does that make sense? Like, I don't know if you like, if there are some things you don't bring to them, bring it all there. Bring it all there. Use them as your first safe space, and then you can keep building it within yourself. Does that make sense? Yeah, I love that. Sometimes that's the best way to do it. It really is. Like, here, you take that because I've already done the hard part, which is get it here. Take it. So, you got this, Rain. I'm going to pull you a talisman. Hold on. I'll make sure. So, whatever is up here, I don't think there's anything to be concerned about. They're right there waiting for you. And honestly, this is for everybody too. Whatever part of your journey you're on, okay? Whether your third eye is wide open, whether you are in the place where you're feeling, feeling things, whether you're just focusing on receiving messages. Chrissy, thanks for the heart me. If you are someone who's just starting to do this stuff, just focus on receiving it, right? Don't try to figure it out. Don't try to interpret it. Just receive the information. Then just relay it back. Write it down. Once you can practice on the receiving end, then you can also practice the two-way conversation. All right, let's see, Rain. What do we got? Rain, this is the happiness talisman. Hello, Gabby. Let's see. It is time to appreciate life with a bright and positive outlook. We all go through difficulties, but when the waters are finally still, we can fill our hearts with gratitude and radiate the joy from what we have accomplished. Cherish every moment and shine brightly. The flower in the center of this card is soaking up the abundant positive energy from the two suns and forms nourishing and delightful seeds. Practicing mindfulness and inner gratitude can open a new world for you, full of compassion, love, clarity, and joy. Radiate your energy and share your gift with others, and receiving people's help can bring you as much happiness as helping others. Don't be surprised if your joy becomes contagious. And the affirmation is, I am grateful for life. That was a good one. Rain, thanks for letting me come visit, my friend. You got this. You're already, I hope you are proud of how far you've already come. And that's just by you devoting the time and effort into yourself, you know. So kudos to you, my friend, because you're doing the damn thing. Thanks for letting me come visit. A soul cycle talks about what is one of the current things you're experiencing in this timeline from other lifetimes and how it may be affecting you. So if we do a soul cycle spread, we basically just look at one soul cycle, see what it is, and then we talk about a couple ways that it is affecting you or could be. Thanks for the DJ glasses. Oh, I forgot that was up there. Rain, thanks for the Go Popular. Thanks for the bouquet. Yes, she did mean discussing. That's what she meant. That's 100% what she meant, was discussing. Good, I'm glad you liked it. Don't forget, if you're someone who is a member of Ember or Healer's Hearth over on the Patreon, a bunch of the classes are available to you for the next week, so feel free to go check them out. And one of those is the guided meditation to build your tree house. Okay. Let's see. So, Chrissy, let's see what's a prominent soul cycle that you're working through in this timeline, and what does it look like? Okay. Do you sometimes struggle with like the fear of failure and potentially not doing things because it could fail? Does that make sense? Because the sound stopped. I was like, why did the music stop? New song. Do you struggle with, so with that sometimes statement, would you say that there are times where you struggle with your belief and your confidence in yourself? The reason I ask is because the success card and the self-realization card came out as far as what is the soul cycle. So what that tells me is that when you finally get to the top of overcoming the doubt and the fear of failure is where the success is going to come in. But it's only once you've climbed that to look at all of the things that maybe are holding you back, like the limiting beliefs around why you feel that way around yourself. So let's see. Another question. Are there, okay, so that brings me to my next question. Do you struggle to forgive yourself for things, or do you hold and blame a lot of things on yourself? And one of those, would that be with the illness? So what I will tell you is that it's funny, we just talked about this. So a lot of the times our auric field holds a lot more things than medicine teaches us or that we've, learned. And with that being said, one of the things is how our emotions can physically manifest and affect us. Can I ask you a question? Do you deal with neck pain? Okay, so we hold a lot of resentment in our neck, whether it's resentment that we've built over time to other people or resentments that we hold against ourselves. And a lot of those is part of the self-forgiveness stuff. So a lot of the times we're holding on to all these things because we think we deserve to or that we have to. And it's actually some of the stuff that we're keeping in our field that's not so great for us. So if we were able to work through some of this forgiveness stuff. Yeah, okay. So, can I ask you a question? Are there times where you're rejecting yourself? Like rejecting your needs, trying to push through things? also like overgive to other people. Okay, so what I would like to tell you is there is, in the resistance, there is something to be said. So make sure that you're finding ways to still be kind to yourself and not hold like a resentment against yourself, because the rejection card comes out with the River Styx, which is like, this is not the right way to be. So there might be something that you're struggling with, and I think honestly every time I go to ask, I keep getting the self-rejection part of it. So there might be something, Chrissy, to look at internally and see what it is, that there is a piece of you that you might be rejecting of yourself. And I think it probably has to do with fear, if I had to take a guess. My assumption is, are you someone who's had to kind of not really been able to like express yourself, and you've had to do a lot for other people your whole life? So in that, a lot of the times we reject ourselves and our own needs. So Chrissy, if I can suggest anything, it would be to take some time to ask yourself what your needs are, and also take some time to rest too. Because while I understand we all have things to do, make sure you're taking some time to actually do self-care and be present and rest. Because when we just keep going and going, we'll burn the candle at both ends, and then it's burnt out. You know what I mean? Thanks for letting me pull those for you, my friend. It's a privilege. I appreciate you. I hope everyone's having a really great Thursday. It's Throwback Thursday. You are welcome. We usually do past life readings on Thursday. I have 4 spots left for readings if that is something you are interested in. They're $22 hairs a reading. The new podcast episode comes out tomorrow. We talk all about mediumship, some of my experiences with mediumship, from like being a kid to being a teenager, and then being an adult, and then when I started working with other beings, all that kind of stuff we talked about in the podcast episode that comes out tomorrow at noontime. And then don't forget, the class to learn how to walk energy cords is on Sunday. And so what we do in that class is we learn how to look through someone else's third eye. We can go find your dog if your dog's missing. You've got it, Chrissy. Sounds good to me. We can help you find your dog if your dog's missing. If you haven't got a text back all day and you want to make sure that that person is alive, you can slide down their cord and go look. So those are all of the things that are coming up this week. And then Monday is movie night, and Tuesday is our 1-year anniversary of being a community, which is super freaking cool. So we will be hanging out here and then hanging out on the Discord at around 7 p.m. Bring your craftiness. Bring the craftiness. Do. What did everybody have for dinner? Anything good? I'm always so nosy about what everybody's eating, in case nobody's wondered. I live vicariously through other people. Especially because sometimes people got some really good stuff to eat, you know? I want to sing and dance really bad. No singing. Everybody's so quiet. Oh yeah, it's early for you. It's only 5:15 over there in Winter Wonderland. Are you really gonna send me some cookies? Can I ask you a question though, Mike? Did you make the cookie batter, or was it pre-made? That's my question. Ooh, Rain, that sounds good. Are they, Monica? Christine, I got you, my friend. I used to do Home Chef. I really like those. One day, I might go back to it. Maybe one day. Maybe one. I love that, though. I've heard good things about Factor. Rain, you'll have to report back on the restaurant and tell us how it is. Okay, Chrissy, I do want to ask you a question. Have you ever seen me do a past life reading before? So, our Discord is free, first off. Our Discord is free. It has a bunch of resources on it. I do live classes in there. We also have voice channels. We do movie night. We do craft night. That's Discord. The Patreon has classes in it. Like if you want to learn how to do energy work, you want to learn energy basics, you want to learn mediumship 101. We do guided meditations in the Patreon. There's a whole bunch of stuff in the Patreon. The biggest difference that I tell people between TikTok and Patreon is TikTok is where I do a lot of the things for you, and Patreon is where I do some of it for you and I help you learn how to do it so you can do it for yourself. The other thing about Patreon is I do a shadow work every month. I make for everybody. We do an archetype every month. We do full moon guided meditation and healings every month. There's a ton of stuff over there. And we also do a daily collective every day. So if that's something you're interested in, Chrissy, feel free to check it out. Ember is on a 7-day free trial, so you can check it out without there being any commitment and no hard feelings if you don't like it. There's different sections of the Patreon too, so for people who want to like dip a toe in, and then people who are ready to just go all in, there are sections for that too. Okay, so the way that I do my past life readings is like this. I connect in to a guide who I work with, and he helps me see one of your more prominent past lifetimes. I get to go in there, I get to look around, I get to tell you what you were doing, what everything looks like, kind of what was going on in there, and then we get to look at a couple of prominent soul cycles from that lifetime that are still in your auric field for this lifetime. So if that sounds good to you, do I have your permission to come over and visit? Okay, well, you don't make side dishes, so riddle me confused when you tossed up a batch of cookies. Steak and cookies, so steak and dessert, main dishes and desserts. That's what Mike will cook. Remember that. Okay, Chrissy, I'm coming over. Chrissy, can I ask you something? Do you deal with anxiety, Belly? Do you also struggle to express your emotions outwardly? A lot of throat stuff today. Okay. All right, I'm going to the next layer of the onion. 1 second. Okay. So the first thing that I see when I come into this lifetime, one, you're a woman. I would just like to say that. Your hair is super, super long, and it's also jet black. The other thing too is you have bangs. It kind of looks like you don't have a bowl cut, but you have like bangs, and then it's like just straight, really long black hair. The other thing too, wherever we are, when I first asked, I was told Thebes, but when I look around, there is like buildings that are like made of like granite. It looks like it's like a gray stone, and there's also like there's greenery. So like there's trees that have like green, like, oh, ironic, palm fronds on it. And there's also like, there's fountains, like kind of water that run along. And I also get the impression that like, they're not just for show. There's something to do with irrigation for like this community, this city center, wherever we are. The other thing is you have on this white, it's like it's not a bed sheet, but that's like, I need to explain it this way. It's like a white linen that is like bunched up, but it has open shoulders. And then it has like a very specific like gold filigreed collar around the neck. And there's also like filigree, like at a belt level. And then like at the end, it like turns into like a dress, but it's like one whole thing. And it's like bunched up, like white linen with this gold filigree. The other thing that's come through a couple times is very specifically this one image. It's like it has like this, oh my god, it has like this crest on it. I can't draw this, but I'm really gonna try. This is not antlers. This is actually, I think, leaves. They go in a circle. So they like, but it's like a prettier circle, and it's not a full circle. It goes in like, it's gold, and it's like a half circle, and it crests at the top, and it's like leaves. Okay, let me look some more. Hold on. You have two children in this lifetime. And when I went to look for a partner line, it looks like that your partner passed, and like there is some kind of battle, some kind of something where your partner passed early, and you were left with, I see, two sons. The other thing too is they kind of have on the same thing you do, but they have on these different slippers. I wouldn't, so in this timeline, there looks like when I try to get into like what you did in this lifetime, I get the impression that you were in some kind of like aid or service to someone like in this community, like who was prominent. And I get the impression that they're prominent as far as like scholarly or like learning for some reason. Like you were someone who tended and helped this person. The other thing I want to say that's come up a couple times is I wouldn't be surprised if you're someone who smell is really important to. That was something I see a lot looking around, is like smoke and scents and herbs, and like there was a lot of scent in this lifetime. I wouldn't be surprised if you're still scent sensitive, and scent is important to you. The other thing is the night sky. In this lifetime, a lot of things that you did, and I get a lot of things that you learned from this person, had to deal with the stars. So I wouldn't be shocked if you're someone who still feels like a call to look up at the stars, but you're unsure why, and you probably wind up looking at the same spot in the stars, if that makes sense. Okay. Ironic. When I asked about one of your soul cycles, I had two things come up to me prominently. One is around fears, and then the other one is really around being in service to others, and finding the balance in that. So whenever I see this one about being in service to others, it waffles between going into hermit mode and then overdoing for everyone. And what I get the impression of is in this lifetime that I'm looking at, you didn't cope very well with the grief of loss and then having to take on more responsibility. Instead, you externalized it and just started pouring yourself into other people with an empty cup. So you really threw yourself into your job. You really threw yourself into the children that you were taking care of. and kind of lost yourself in that. So this is again another reminder to make sure that you're finding the balance in that. It's okay to pour into other people's cups, but not if ours is empty and we're experiencing a drought. The other thing is around fear, and there's something about a fear of control, right? So our need to always have control of everything, to have all the information. Make sure that you aren't being very rigid if that is still the way that this soul cycle is going in this timeline. Make sure that you are taking stock of the things that you can control and what isn't yours to control, what you have no control over, and then letting it go because it's not something to hold on to when there's nothing you can do about it. I also want to say that this need to know everything and control everything comes from a need for safety, to feel safe. So make sure that you are finding time to give yourself that safe space, even if you can't find it elsewhere. What's that, a sapphire? I wouldn't be surprised if I've asked if you've seen this lifetime before, and they very specifically showed me this image of you wearing this very particular blue sapphire, and it's in a gold setting. But the thing is it's a headband. So like it's like this really pretty, I think it's a sapphire. It's blue, and it's a really pretty blue, and it's like a deep blue, and then it's like has like this gold setting, and then like it's this thin little like headband. When I asked if you've seen this lifetime before, they very vividly showed me that. So if you've ever seen someone looking back at you with that really specific like headpiece thing, you are looking at yourself in this timeline. The other thing I feel the need to tell you too is that if you wanted to, you could ask your guides to show you this timeline in your sleep and help you kind of bring forward some of the information to start working through some of those things, like the expression. Because there is like when I see, like, after your partner died in this lifetime, you just poured into everything. You did a lot with like greenery, and you spent time outside, and you also like, it gives me the impression of like these flower arrangements that you would make, and you also spent a lot of time just trying to learn and get all the knowledge to try to stop anything else bad from happening. Just make sure that if that has a tendency to show its head every now and then in this incarnation, you just find a way to balance it. We don't have to know all the information, especially right now, even if we want to really bad. The last thing I'm going to say before I cut out of here is this. In this timeline, there was something to be said about you receiving messages that you weren't open to receive. And I kind of get the impression that there may be some times where I think you have some, like your guides or your lost loved ones who are trying to talk to you. And I think you know that you have the capability of doing that, but you're like using logic to like write it off. So make sure that if you're feeling pressure on your head, you feel a weird, sensation in the center of your eye, you feel those like creepy crawlies up the left side of your body, just sit with it, Chrissy, and ask like, who is here? Who is here and what are you trying to show me? Because I get the impression that in that lifetime too, you were open to some information, but you struggled with the intangible aspect of it, of how can you know? So if that is something that you're still struggling with in this timeline, just sit with it and know that the more that you build that confidence in yourself, you will start to build the confidence in the information you receive. Does that make sense? Hello, Healing Heart. Thanks for the rose. Okay. Thanks for letting me look at your past life. I always have fun doing these. I really love Thursdays. And I really think our soul cycles kind of give us the idea of you know, we're not broken. There's nothing wrong with us. These are things that we're going through and we're working through in our energy, and we're just learning from. Thank you for trusting me in your energy, Chrissy. It's much appreciated. Hello, Jen Marie. Oh, it is always an honor and a privilege. Thank you, ma'am. I gotta be honest. It's gonna change soon. This was an accident. It was supposed to be more purple than pink. So I will be going back to more purple. Hi, Kai. But thank you. Thank you. I'm trying to love it while it's there. They are. I love past life readings. Hey, Jen Marie. Earlier, I didn't realize that I had set the, is it? Okay, good. Good. Let me know in the podcast tomorrow how it looks. Don't forget, new podcast episode tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's all about mediumship, what that's looked like for me from like this big up, and then what it looks like to work with other beings beside our dead people. And then don't forget, if you are someone who wants to learn to walk energy cords, the class for that is on Sunday live in the Discord, and it's $33 a person. And it's at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Jessica, thanks for the heart me. So Jen Marie, earlier you sent me DJ glasses and I didn't realize that I changed the Soul Cycle pull. So I actually owe you one. Would you like it? Captain Crocker. Oh my goodness. You're going to get me in trouble. We just went through this. He said he was going to next day air me some cookies. So if they ever make their way here, you let me know. Well, I'll let you know. And I'll let you know how they were. Okay. All right, Jen Marie, let's see. What do we got for a prominent Jen Marie soul cycle? If all the cards are yellow, I'm going to start laughing hysterically. Don't forget that I really am going to put up the movie night poll, by the way, in the Discord. So if you are someone who's a super fan, aka a unicorn, make sure you look out for the movie night poll. The new podcast is tomorrow, and then the new class to learn to walk energy cords is live on Sunday. All right. What do we have for a prominent soul cycle that Jen Marie is going through? It's fucking yellow. Jen Marie, are you struggling with self-rejection? Like, are you struggling to accept, like, what is your emotions and what are others and what are certain people's ideas and what is not? Jen, I love you. Okay, so, I don't know why you're rejecting yourself, but, you are like, okay, so do this. I'm going to this is my Discord username. Send me a friend request and I will send you the invite link that way. Sometimes the link works, sometimes it don't. I apologize. So we have to find a way for you to balance out what's going on in your solar plexus and your sacral chakra, because you keep rejecting yourself. And I think you're also getting mad at yourself that you're not, like, they're giving me the idea that you're getting frustrated at yourself, that your growth doesn't look different or your progress doesn't look different. Does that make sense? You are welcome. Okay, well, that's not true because we are all where we're supposed to be. So let's see what some things we can do to help work on Jen Marie with some of these. Are you struggling to receive, Jen Marie? Are you struggling to receive like love and kindness and support and all those things? Okay, here's the thing though. So the open-heartedness card just came out with the River Styx card. This is the stop, turn around, go the fuck back card. That's what this means. This means stop, turn that whole boat around, and go. Because I think the impression I get is that when you are struggling or you are feeling bad about yourself, you go and open your heart and help somebody else. Does that make sense? I support it. If you can find her address, you get lost pretty frequently. Just saying. I don't know how you're a captain of anything, but it's fine. So, what I'm going to tell you is that you doing that is helping to aid into the rejection and abandonment of yourself, because you're looking for ways to find you in other people. And so when your heart hurts, you go and try to help somebody else's heart, and your heart's like, bitch, I'm over here bleeding. Do you see me? Do you? So if I can say anything to you, it is the next time that your heart hurts or that you're struggling with something, instead of immediately running to help someone else with their problem because yours isn't that important, I want you to sit and actually look at yours and realize how important it is, Jen Marie, because you do this thing where you think everyone else is more important than you, and you are just as important as everybody else. Does that make sense, ma'am? How did I know that solar plexus was going to come out? Hold on, Chrissy. I'm gonna send it. Gotcha. Invite sent. So, hello, Nikki. So, Jen Marie, if I can tell you anything, we got to get you to accept yourself, because this is one of the really sucky things is until the day that you accept yourself, no one else is going to do it. Does that make sense? If you are someone who doesn't accept yourself, no one else is going to, because that's just hanging out in your auric field, right? And you're going to continue to try to mold yourself and be who you think they want you to be, but they just want you to be you. So, Jen Marie, I love your face. Thank you for being patient with me. I'm sorry I screwed the pooch earlier. I got lost in Oklahoma somewhere over the rainbow. Oh. You got this, Jen. I know you do. You just have to find the time to put the work into you, because you are worth it. You're welcome. Hello, Leah. How are you? I hope everyone's having a beautiful Thursday. It's Throwback Thursday, so we usually do past life readings on Thursday. I have 3 spots left for past life readings if that's something you're interested in. They're $22 a spot, or whatever's over here. The new podcast episode comes out tomorrow at noontime. It's all about what mediumship has looked like for me since I was a kid and growing up, and some experiences that I had with mediumship, and how I couldn't tell certain people, and even if I did, how they didn't believe me. And then I also go into working with other beings that I work with, and some of the energy work that I do. And also, if you're someone who's ever seen me do energy work and you're like, what's that weird eye thing? I explain it in the podcast episode. So that is what is coming out tomorrow at noon. And then do not forget, if you are someone who would like to learn how to walk energy cords, which means look through somebody's third eye, find your missing dog or cat, make sure that your kid is still alive and well. These are all things that we're going to learn in that class. So it is $33 a person, and it's live in the Discord. And the only thing that I do say is, in that class, I'm not going to be able to go over energy basics. So I suggest that you're someone who has a general foundation, because I won't have time to explain it, and I don't want anybody to be lost in the sauce. And also, don't forget, Ether 101, Ether 102, and Mediumship 101, as well as the guided meditation to build your treehouse, are all available in the Patreon for Ember and Healer's Hearth people now through Tuesday to celebrate our 1-year anniversary. It is Sunday the 22nd at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Chrissy, what's your question? I'll see. I might have to come back over there, because I'm going to be honest. Once I do a reading, I forget them. Kai, I No, I'm not gonna, I don't record the ones in Discord because it doesn't ever record the sound. Um, so it won't be recorded, but we will probably do it again someday. That's like the best thing I can say. I'm not sure when, but we'll probably do it again someday. Chrissy, I would love to tell you that if you think you have an attachment or some kind of dark energy, it's usually, so those things do exist, I'm not going to lie, but usually it's your own shadow that you don't want to look at. And I have to say something. If you are someone who has ever looked at your physical body from the spiritual realm, you'll be disgusted with how you look. Okay? You might be like, oh my God, that's so scary. Or, oh, what is that? Things just look different between the physical and there. So a lot of the times the things that we're dragging around, that dark cloud, it's a shadow that's unresolved that we're not looking at. It's usually burdened with shame and guilt, and it's stuff we repress and we push away and we try to hide it. So if there's anything I can ever say, it's sit with it and start trying to pick out where the files are from. And always remember, like, if you're going to ever start somewhere, start with your throat, because our throat is our communication center. It's where we express ourselves and our authenticity. And a lot of the times, especially from childhood, we're not allowed to do that. We're not allowed to express ourselves. We're not allowed to talk about things. We're too sensitive. We're too emotional. All these things. There are, Kai, I see your comment and it just derailed me. Hold on one second. I forgot what I was going to say. I got squirreled. Nope. So, what I would say is, and so I'm going to get into, so I'm going to give you a real quick preface for everybody in the room. I'm not a medical professional. Hi, Sam. I don't pretend to be. I'm not going to tell you not to go to the doctor. I'm not going to tell you not to take your meds. I'm not going to tell you that your illnesses isn't real, because physical illnesses are real. The purview through which I believe them is this. Illnesses manifest because they are physical manifestations of other things. Whenever I do energy work with a lot of people who have chronic illness, and a lot of people who have come to me and said, I have an attachment, right? So have I seen a sleep paralysis demon, Kai? The answer is yes. However, it was an attachment that this person had had for a very long time. It was a generational attachment, that family trauma stuff. So there's some shadow stuff to that. What I will tell you is that in my purview, again, my personal humble opinion, Western medicine has ignored a huge part of us called the biofield. Your autoimmune system, 70% of it exists in your biofield. And we don't talk about it, right? Society tells you if you have a weird chest pain, anxiety. You got belly problems, anxiety. Your lower back hurts, it's all in your head. It's not. It's fucking energy. So if you are someone who is dealing with a bunch of disease, right, in your body, you don't feel safe in your own body, you are holding on to sexual trauma, you have stuff from childhood that's stuck there, you probably got really tight hips, you probably got some infertility issues, you probably got fucked up periods, you probably get UTIs, you probably got bladder problems. If I keep going further up, if you struggle with the way that you see yourself, you have low self-confidence, low self-worth, low self-esteem, you're holding on to other people's beliefs that aren't yours, you're gonna probably deal with weight gain and weight that you can't get rid of. If you are someone who is sitting in this room right now and you're like, Jesus, Molly, I've done everything I can to lose weight and I can't lose weight. Well, let me tell you something. I come from a place of personal experience, and two, what I will tell you is that you're holding on to all that weight because you don't feel safe in your body and you're protecting yourself. Nothing can get you, can't touch you. Some of these things that we think that Western medicine wants to talk to us about, it's stuff that's hanging out in our auric field and in our own energy centers, right? I can't tell you how many people that come to me and we have conversations about, Molly, I get these weird ass chest pains. It feels like I'm getting stabbed in the chest. The doctors tell me it's anxiety and I can't get rid of it and it really hurts. And I'm going to look at you and I'm going to say, why are you grieving? What are you sad about? And are you lonely? And then you're going to look at me and go, you know, you're right. These chest pains started after my mom died, or after I got in this breakup, or after I had to leave this friend group. Because grief isn't just for lost loved ones. You can grieve people who are still alive. You can grieve parts of yourself. You can grieve knowing people. Grief isn't just one secular idea. It hangs out in the front of your chest space. So if you're someone who's in here and you're like, what are these weird chest pains that come around? Ask yourself, are you sad? Are you lonely? Are you grieving somebody? If you are dealing with this like stabbing pain in the back of your chest, right? So directly in the back of your heart, between your shoulder blades, that's a stab in the back, not made up. So what do you feel betrayed by? Do you feel betrayed by somebody, or do you feel that you have betrayed yourself? Right? So if you are someone who also is dealing with like belly issues and anxiety, I want you to remember that in the belief system, in the way that I see things, in the way that I have experienced things through the work that I do, is this: your body is literally a temple. Hear me when I tell you this. Your spine, right? Look at it like a big harmonic keyboard. Bear with me, okay? So you have this Frankenstein meat suit that literally doesn't do anything without electricity, aka energy, right? Because what functions off of electricity? Oh, your heart, really important, right? Super important. So the baby is created. Hello, I am the meat suit. Then the soul, right, which is the energy itself, it comes into the body and then it starts running on all of the pathways, aka the fiber optic cable known as your nerves and your fascia, right? All that stuff. So you have a 3-part system going on. That's why when we talk about mind, body, and soul, your body, your soul is the energy that moves and animates the body, and the soul is able to move around because of all your nerves and your fascia, right? So a lot of the time when I start talking to people who are just going through energy work, they're just trying to recenter themselves, a lot of the times I'll ask them, do you feel like you want to run out of your body? And the answer is, oh my God, yes. Do you know why? It's because your soul is trying to do so many things. It's bouncing around like a ping pong ball and it's extremely ungrounded. So there are so many things that Western medicine doesn't tell us about or isn't honest about, looking at things as a whole. So if there's anything I can say, do things holistically. Look at things from a holistic approach. They have energy work in the hospital, so it ain't that fucking far-fetched, okay? So if I can implore anything, if you are someone who's dealing with sleep paralysis and you keep seeing the same entity, ask what it's doing there. What does it want? Is it you? Because remember, we can build up these parts of ourselves and it's all energy, right? And you can have an energy shed that turns into its own thing. So have I met people who do have attachments that they deal with in sleep paralysis? Yeah. And then those people are usually also chronically ill. So there's a lot of steps to work through that, and allowing people to regain their energy, take back their power. It's helped them bring that back. I know people who, in doing this work and going through energy work and all this stuff, have seen literal changes in their body and in their medical tests. I personally can tell you in some places where I've seen it for myself. There was a time in my life where my blood tests for my kidneys were whacked out. I mean, like whacked out. But everyone, they're fine. It's fine. It's fine. It'll pass. Do you know what I had to learn? So those whacked out kidney tests came from a time in my life where I was scared fucking shitless. I was petrified. I was fighting for my life, scared. Do you know where fear hangs out? Your kidneys. Same time, I'm someone who has had weird liver function tests that the doctor's like, yep, that's just weird. That's just weird. Do you know what hangs out in your liver? Anger. So as I was able to start processing through some of these stuck emotions that I had, one, I realized that I'm actually not an angry person. I'm a sad person. And I learned to cover it in anger so that you couldn't take advantage of the sad. And I had to start slowly deconstructing these pieces of me to get to the deeper parts of it. And in doing that, fix the kidney stuff that was going on, work through the liver stuff that was going on. And not because I took a pill, not because the doctor told me to do something, but because I learned to process through my emotions and the energy and the energetic files that my body was holding on to. If you're someone who reads, I'll give you 2 book recommendations right off the rip. One is The Body Keeps the Score. And then the other one, I don't have that one in front of me. The Body Keeps the Score. And then here's your next one. Chakras, the vagus nerve, and your soul. If I can recommend these 2 books to anybody, those will give you a general baseline on how your physical body and then your etheric body work together. And once you start to process through your stuck emotions and stuck other stuff, you'll start to be able to unravel that onion. And you'll also start to notice certain things, like you get headaches really bad, you might start to notice those go away because you're actively taking better care of your energetic hygiene. You have back pain, you'll start to notice that'll go away if you start to deal with the way you feel and see about yourself. You having issues with infertility, look at your sacral chakra. See what's up with that. It's called The Body Keeps the Score. Hello, Sparrow. It's called The Body Keeps the Score, Jenny. Let me see who it's by real quick. I can't remember. It's by Bessel van der Kolk. You are very welcome. So those are the 2 books that I would recommend to anybody. If you want to just kind of start dipping your toe in and getting curious, and see what happens. I get that. The one I showed is this one. I am someone too who, when I was a teenager, I hurt my neck really bad, and I kept going to the doctor over and over again because I was having all these issues with my sight. If you ever look at me up close, you'll notice that one of my pupils is bigger than the other one. That's ever happened since that day. It's never fixed itself. And the doctors kept telling me, like, there's nothing wrong. It's all in your head. It's all made up. And it took years of ignoring multiple doctors' bullshit to finally find a doctor who looked at my scans and found where my neck was broken, where nobody picked up on it. And it had been so long that it had healed improperly. And that's something I will have to deal with for the rest of my life. So if you are someone who is in here and you're fighting for a medical answer, you've been struggling to uncover something, don't give up, because you know your body better than anybody else. So if you know something's off, dig into it. And if you notice that you have an issue in one part of your body more than the other, if I can suggest anything, it would be look into your energy centers and see where your biggest area is affected. And a lot of us, it hangs out here. It's root, sacral, solar, right? Because this is our basic foundation of our stability, our safety, our sexual stuff, our pleasure stuff, our child stuff, and then all our beliefs that we hold about ourselves, our self-confidence. And remember, the way you perceive yourself is the lens through which you'll perceive the world. As above, so below, okay? So the way you perceive yourself is the lens through which you'll see the world, right? This is why I always tell people, be very cognizant of the way you talk to other people. Because if you are someone who is really mean to yourself, you have negative self-talk, you make fun of yourself, all these things, you're going to do that to other people because you find it acceptable to do it to yourself. The day will come where you will meet somebody who does not treat themselves that way. They do not talk badly to themselves. They do not talk down to themselves. They do not make fun of themselves. And I'm telling you, if you do that to this person, right, you're going to get a reaction you didn't expect. And you'll probably be very taken aback. And then you'll go, wow, they're so stuck up. Nope, they have just learned how to treat themselves with kindness and grace and what their boundaries are. No one else gets to dictate that for you. I can't tell you how many people have talked to me out their neck, and I used to let them. And then one day I grew boundaries and everybody fucking shit themselves. So please know that if you are someone who is a people pleaser and you're working through that, you're going to feel really guilty in the beginning, and then it'll be the best thing you ever did, I promise. Don't let the guilt win, though. Hi, Heather. Thanks for the wink wink and the popular. I love that, Kai. I love it, Jen Marie and her little eyeballs. It's worth it to look into your energy. So if you're someone who's like, I don't know what this lady's talking about, word. I've been there. I'm just going to be so honest. My goal in life is simply to help you bridge the gap, and the gap is the connection to yourself. In a world where we're taught to permanently disconnect from ourselves because we're easier to control that way. If you get someone who has self-worth, confidence, all these things, you can't control that, right? But if you build this bridge of disconnection and shame and guilt, it's way easier to control people with that. So in doing that and moving through some of that, you start to get all your power back, and then you'll start to realize, now that person's opinion really doesn't matter. I don't really care if they don't like me. Sorry, can't help you today. I gotta help myself. Those things will start to build naturally and will start to come to you naturally, and you'll really get over the guilt of it. I've made so many changes in my life. Like, I used to be someone who, if you insinuated that you needed help, I would be the first one to be like, can I help you? Let me help. How can I help? Hello? Now you have to ask me for help. You can't insinuate it. You can't suggest it. You need to be direct about your communication, because I will not just overextend or offer myself. Because remember, if you offer help that isn't asked for, it's actually control. So I'm going to say that one more time. If you are putting your help onto other people who didn't ask for it, and you're asserting yourself and you're just trying to help, that is just another form of control. I can't tell you how many people, I'm just trying to help. Nope, you're just trying to control the situation. So just make sure that you're coming where your intentions are coming from when you're doing things like that. It was something I had to learn too. It was a very big aha moment for me. And the other thing that I'll tell you too that I learned is everybody's version of help is not the same as yours. Okay? So one of the things that I have changed in my communication dialogue now is I don't say, oh, I can be helpful in this way. If someone comes to me, I will say, how can I be helpful? Right? Because I don't fucking know. I don't know what works for you. What is help for you? So I now ask that of the person, right? Like, how can I be helpful to you? And then, do you know how many times people have looked at me and go, I have no clue? And that is one of the first things that I want you to like sit with. If you are someone who sits there and you're like, I just wish people would see my perspective. I just wish people would understand. I just wish people would help me. I want to ask you, if that day came, would you know how to tell them what you needed? And if the answer is no, don't you think you need to figure that out before berating people that they're not doing it? Because if you don't even know what would be helpful, if you don't even know what your needs are, if you don't know the way to love yourself, how the fuck is somebody else going to figure that out? I say this when we talk about dating all the time. If you are someone who is out there and you're trying to date, right? If you do not love yourself, stop trying to date. Because let me ask you some questions. Okay. If you don't know what your needs are, if you don't know how to be loved, if you don't know what you need for support, how can you communicate that to a partner? So what you expect them to do is read your mind and figure it out. That's where communication breakdowns happen, because it is not your partner's job to learn you for you. It is your job to learn yourself, and then in turn, you can tell your needs, your thoughts, your opinions, and your emotions to other people because you have a fluid understanding of them, right? You can't expect other people to figure out you for you. It's not their job. It's nobody's job to fix you. It is your job. You are responsible for your reactions. You aren't responsible for half the damage probably, but you are responsible for fixing it. Nobody is going to come and save you. The world isn't going to open up tomorrow and say, here, get to the front of the line. We'll give you everything you want. It's never going to happen. So if you are someone who is like, when am I going to find love? the love is in here. You need to figure out what self-love is to be able to even understand love first. I say this with compassion as well. I can't tell you how many people have said to me, I'm the most compassionate person ever, but they are so fucking mean to themselves. No. If you don't know how to show compassion to yourself, what you are showing as compassion to other people is what you think compassion is. It's what you think it is, what you've seen it emulated as, what you expect it to be. It's not actually coming from a place of understanding how to functionally use it. This goes back to the conversation we've been having of knowledge and wisdom, right? You can have all the answers, all the steps, but if you do not know how to functionally put them in motion and use them appropriately, the knowledge is junk. You might as well just have a broken needle. Because if you don't know how to use it, if you don't know how to applicate it, this is why I really argue with people about fucking credentials. So this is my next hot take. This is what I mean when people come to me and they say, where are your credentials? I don't have any. My guides don't give credentials. My dead people don't give out credentials. They're not printing up there in the sky where it says, Molly does a really good job. It doesn't work that way. So what I want to tell you is this. Would you feel more comfortable seeing me do the work, being present with me doing the work, experiencing it, learning it, and seeing it for yourself? Or would you rather me tell you, hi, I paid $10,000 to go to Bali for 3 days. I am now a master expert after those 3 days. Here's my piece of paper. Again, so you can have all the knowledge, but if you do not have the understanding, one of my guides likes to say this all the time, it is only through understanding and application that it works, right? So if you do not know how to functionally put that information into use, it's dead in the water. It's dead, right? I had this conversation, what was it, about accessing certain things. When we talk about getting into spirituality, right? We talk about slow steps. And I can't tell you how many people, they want to run and jump and start flying in the first week. And how many skilled activities work like that? If you wanted to become a plumber today, would you be able to fix everything, understand everything, know every nut and bolt, what that is, what this is, what that is in a week? No. So why do people think, for some reason, that if I talk to my guides for a week, if I just try to meditate for a week, I'll have all the answers? I will have this aha moment. No, it doesn't happen. I freaking wish that it would happen that way. It does not. It doesn't. There is time and progress, and the only time you're going to continue to see progress is if you're putting in the progress here. I talked about this in the podcast that comes out tomorrow. I have a guide, right? I have a guide that he ignored me for a month. I went there every day. Hello? Every day he ignored me. He would, every now and then, he'd give me this side eye. He knew I was there, but he ignored me. And you know why? Because I needed to keep showing up. Why was I doing it? Proof that I had the right intention and proof that I wasn't going to give up or abandon myself in the process of fucking doing that. And through proving, right, that I'm still showing up every day, I have the right intention. After a month, the man finally spoke to me. So what I will tell you is it takes time. So if you are someone who wants to hear what is it like, this is what the podcast episode is tomorrow. It's all about when I first started doing mediumship, when I first saw my first dead person, I was this big. These are the conversations that are a part of the podcast tomorrow. And I share this stuff because I don't want you guys to feel alone, right? I want you guys to know that we all start somewhere. You don't have to have a certification. You don't have to have a certification by another human being to prove your worth to yourself and others. You don't. I can't stress that enough. When you start listening to your intuition, you start putting the work into yourself, you start doing the shadow work and sifting through the stuff, you will amaze yourself with the things you can do, and you'll actually probably be really mad that you thought you needed another person to validate it, because that's really all that a certificate is. So if you're someone who's like, I want to do mediumship, but I have to take this $500 bajillion mentorship course to get this piece of paper, you don't. You don't. What that actually is you're giving your power away, dude, because you're relying on another human being's credibility to give you yours. You don't need that. You don't need it. So if I can say anything, and I say this about me, I say this about everybody. If you are starting to get into this, you're looking for a new practitioner, use your discernment. Listen to them speak. Watch them do readings. Go look at reviews. Go look at people and how they have their experience have been. If you want to vet me, feel free to go look in the Discord. There's an entire section called past readings where it's just people talking about readings that I've done for them. If you want to go watch readings, I upload every single one of these live streams onto YouTube. You can go watch the rerun. If you're someone who's had a reading with me, you can go watch it. They're up there. You don't have to screen record it, nothing. Ha! Dawn, I appreciate you. That's what this is about. So when I introduce myself, I haven't done this in a while, and we have some new people. So, yes, Ken, I just got yelled at for that. Thank you. What I will tell you, channeling's tough work. What I will tell you is I am someone who is here not to teach you all these things, right? I'm not here to lead you to the wonderland of Elysium. I am here to help you bridge the gap between spiritual connection and genuine human connection. And the gap is your connection to yourself. End of discussion. That is what the gap is. It's not the gap to your guides. It's not the gap to whatever. It is, let me show you the way until you build up the confidence enough to do it. That is what my purpose here on earth is, to help people love themselves and help them bridge the gap. That's it. So, in doing that, I have seen so many people flourish and take their power back and do things that they've never expected themselves to do. That is what it is about for me. Is taking your power back, not letting people control you, not giving a fuck about how people perceive you. Let people talk about the color of your hair. Let people call you whatever they want. Let people scream that their beliefs are more important than yours because you know how to regulate in here. You're all right. You know how to utilize your nervous system in the appropriate channels. You know how to regulate it and react and allow it to respond to things appropriately. You know, that's what this is about. So if you are someone who has, given your power away to other people, you let other people tell you what to do, what to think, now's the time to start thinking about who are you and who do you want to be? And what is stopping you from attaining that? Are you worried about how someone's going to think of you? And if the answer is yes, is that person paying your bills or that I can't say on TikTok? So unless both of those things are not happening, right? Does it really matter what they think? No. The other thing that I tell people too is unasked for opinions is just unsolicited criticism. And remind yourself that not everybody wants your opinion. I just had this conversation a week ago with somebody who said, "You don't want my opinion?" And I said, "No, I don't." And the response was, "Well, why?" And I said, "Because I didn't ask for it. If I didn't ask for your opinion, I do not want it. And if I wouldn't go to you for advice, I definitely don't want your opinion, and I definitely won't accept your criticism." So I want to tell you guys that too. If you're someone who, you're dealing with people who are like shitting on you, they have really like mean things to say to you. If you wouldn't go to that person for advice, you better not accept their criticism. Because why would you? If you know that their advice is shit, their criticism's even more shit. And then I would like to friendly remind you that when people are mean to other people and they degrade them and they break them down, they're just projecting their own internal world onto you. Misery loves company. If I'm not worthy of it, you're not worthy of it either. And that's what people love to do. So please remind yourself that it isn't about you. It's a direct reflection of their own inner world. And that has nothing to do with you. Don't get caught up in that net of projection. Don't. Because it's not yours. This is one of the things where we talk about an energetic hygiene of what is yours to pick up and what is yours to put the fuck down. Because not all of it is yours. So there's a couple things I want to say. If you are new here and you have never seen me before, it is nice to meet you. My name is Molly. I call myself an ethereist because I do not like to put myself in a box. I don't want to call myself a medium. I don't want to call myself a psychic. I don't want to call myself an energy. I call myself an ethereist because in the world that I work in, everything I do and work with is within the ether. So in my world, I work and walk in the ether, which is why I call myself an ethereist. If you're someone who does energy work with me, I do not practice Reiki. No hate to the Reiki people. I am not a Reiki person. What I do is a mix of quantum work and galactic work. That is what my energy work entails. Do I have a certification? No, but I have a ton of beings who would love to help you to get to where you need to be energetically. There are plenty of people, thanks Mike, I've also never had Raising Canes. There are plenty of people in here who have also started learning how to do this energy work for themselves. If you are someone who wants to start dipping your toe into the water, I have classes on the Patreon. All of my classes are $22 a class because I want to make it accessible to people. So our 1 year anniversary is coming up on Tuesday, and as a way to give back for that, if you are someone who is a member of Ember or Healer's Hearth, you have access to Ether 101, Ether 102, Mediumship 101, and the guided meditation to build your treehouse. All of those things are available for my Ember and Healer's Hearth friends through Tuesday over on the Patreon. I would like to remind you that the Patreon has 3 different tiers. The tiers are very different and they're based on what you are looking for. Ember is $20 a month. What you get in Ember is you get your own energy work every single month. You get access to the shadow work journal, the full moon guided meditation and energy work, and we do a daily collective every day, which more often than not, usually at least once or twice a week, has energy work involved in it. You also get access to a lot of exercises, and there's some other guided meditations in there as well. If you are someone who is a member of Healer's Hearth, you have access to the collective healing, the healer's healing. You get access to some of the classes, and you also get access to the recordings of every guided meditation that we do every other week. That is $55 a month. Soul Sanctuary is the highest tier over there. It is $111 a month. What you get in Soul Sanctuary is this. You get access to everything, every class, every meditation, every podcast episode. You get access to soul sessions, which is a support group for your soul that we hold twice a month, where everyone in Soul Sanctuary hangs out with me and we talk about all things shadow work and what we're working through in that time. You also get your soul design report within the first week of joining Soul Sanctuary. What that is it's a mix of your human design and it's a mix of your soul contracts. I give that to you within your first week of joining. You also, as a part of Soul Sanctuary, not only do you get your own energy work every month, but you get your own reading as well every month. That is just a part of the tier. So the tiers are really separated for people who want to dip their toe in. They really want to dip their toe in, or I'm going all the way in. I try to make it as accessible for people. The next live class that I have coming up is on Sunday. It is $33 a person. It's live in the Discord. And what we're doing is we're learning how to walk energy cords, which means looking through people's third eye. If your dog goes missing, you can find your dog. If you want to make sure that your kid's alive, you can slide down their energy cord and make sure they have a heartbeat. So those are all the things. Oh, and you can find missing stuff. So those are all the things that we're going to learn on Sunday. That class is $33 a person, and it's live at 2 p.m. in the Discord. So if you are someone who would like to sign up for that, just send the $33 hairs to wherever works for you. Just make sure you put in the note that it's for the class, so my squirrel brain has some assistance. So I just rambled for a hot minute. I now have dry mouth like it's nobody's business. 1 second. Does anybody have questions for me about anything? Whether it's about readings, whether it's about the Patreon, any of the things. I got you, Chrissy. I will give you a call right around 2:35 and we'll do your vibe check and your healing. I'm very excited. So if you're someone who's never had a vibe check with me, if you book the vibe check and integration healing, what it is I give you a call on the phone and we spend about 15 minutes going through your energy. And then we do an integrated energy work to move some of that stuff along. Rebecca, why don't you bring it back to the guided meditation? Here, I have two options. The Mintonkin Healing Temple or to meet your spirit guides. That's my vote. I'm kind of leaning towards the Mintonkin Healing Temple, Rebecca. I think that would be a good one for you. Right? Aspern. It'll be good, Chrissy. I'm super excited. I'm looking forward to it. I really do love doing energy work. I've noticed how it's helped not only me, but I've seen a ton of other people in the way that it's helped them physically. So thank you for trusting me and your energy. I'll give you a call right around that time tomorrow and we'll get to it. Let me ask you a question, Chrissy, actually, while I have you. Would you rather the phone or would you rather the FaceTime? I'm good with either one, but I don't just want to FaceTime you if you're like, ew, Molly, bye. You know? It's what you're comfortable with. The other thing I want to tell you guys too is this. If you're someone who wants to know what your spirit guides have to say, you want to know what's in your energy, but you're an introvert, do I have the deal of a lifetime for you? Okay, I'll FaceTime you then. So I offer spirit guide snapshots and past life snapshots. And so what they look like is whatever time you book the appointment for is the time that this report shows up in your email. So if you are someone who books a spirit guide snapshot, I basically come into your energy. I take notes of everything that I am finding in your energy, and then I connect in with your guides and I write down all the messages that they have for you. And then you get a report that looks like this. So it tells you all the stuff that's in your energy, and then it tells you all the things that your spirit guides would like you to know. So if you're someone who's like, I want to book a reading, but I'm an introvert, check out the snapshots. They're up in the private booking link under the readings, like the reports and rituals tab is where you will find them. So there's also one for past lives as well. Jen Marie, I appreciate you. YoutheBomb.com. Okay, here's my question. Does anybody have questions for me? I will give my last final shout out that I do have a couple spots left if you are someone who would like to do a past life reading. I think tomorrow and Saturday will probably be in the world of energy work and mediumship. That is my vote for the next 2 days. So, if you have questions about it, too, let me know. Or if you have questions about the class coming up this week, I would be more than happy to touch on it. And I want to give you a friendly reminder that if you're curious about the Patreon, Ember's on a 7-day free trial. So there's no commitment. You can check it out. And if you don't like it, you can leave. And it was free, which I think is like the best part of it, you know? Balto's mom, I like your name. We gotta watch Balto. I think that was actually on the movie list. I have to put up the movie night poll. And don't forget, our 1 year anniversary is on Tuesday. So we're all going to be hanging out in the Discord at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, talking and crafting it up if you want to come hang out for our 1 year celebration. Ugh. All right. I am feeling all dehydrated, and I've also given myself a headache. Thank you for the music conductor. youthebomb.com. So I'm going to run away. I have to edit the podcast. It'll be up at noon tomorrow. And if you're someone who wants to check out the podcast, feel free to check out Ember. It's on a 7-day free trial. And if you want to go back and watch some of our live streams, you want to go back and watch some readings, you'll find them on the YouTube. I also have a bunch of free guided meditations on the YouTube as well. So feel free to check that out too. There is one to meet your spirit guides as well. Jen Marie, I love you. You the bomb. Mike is going to express ship me some Raisin Canes and cookies is what I heard through the grapevine. That's what I heard. Jenny, thank you for hanging out with me, my friend. Come hang out with us anytime. Don't forget our Discord is free if you want to come hang out with us. All the stuff. There's so many places. I see you. I see you over there. Kai, thanks for the rose boo thing. Hey, I'm waiting for the cookies. Just saying. You said you were overnight shipping me cookies. So, I mean, I could make sweet potato brownies for that. Potentially. I could. If there was a trade involved. I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did. Typical. Typical. I'll just forget Molly's cookies. I'll just forget, just like you forgot Jen Marie's chicken. You forgot her rotisserie chicken. I'll never forget that. You're getting demoted. Who made you a captain in the first place? You got terrible GPS up there. I think you need to be demoted to, what was that? Like Greenhorn or something? Whatever the bottom is, that's where you got to go back to square one. And then you got to pass some navigational tests. He's Captain Savaho. Oh. He's a captain, all right. Captain Crunch. Sorry, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you, Mike. I'm laughing with you. Captain Crunch did have a boat. Just saying. He did have a boat. Okay, I'm running away. Jack is giving me the stink eye. If you want to see, he's giving me the stink eye. You can see it. I'm going to go take Jack out. It's almost dinner time. I got to finish editing the podcast so that all of you guys can watch it tomorrow at noon. And do not forget that the new class to learn how to walk energy cords is on Sunday. It is 33 doll hairs a person if you would like to come join and hang out with us. It's going to be live in the Discord at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you think that the time is weird, I assure you someone from a different time zone is going to be at that class, and it is 5 a.m. their time. So that's commitment to yourself. I'm giving Claire a shout out. Claire is taking my class, and it's 5 a.m. her time, and that's commitment. So if you are someone who's been wondering if it's time to make the commitment to yourself, it is. You're freaking worth it. So I hope you all have a beautiful day, and I'll see some of you tomorrow.